Welcome in, everyone. Today we are going to be going over Black Clover Mobile and the tier list that's currently out. What I would say is the best route to go once you start this game, as coming from the Japanese server or the Tap server, and basically which characters to aim for if you're free to play, which characters to aim for in the first week to push as far as possible in PvP, because the rewards in there are actually cracked for new players, especially for free to play. It's almost something you have to do on day one or day two, is just push arena to get as much rewards as you can, because after that it's going to be flooded with whales. So let's go ahead and dive in and kind of take a look at what the tier list is looking like right now already for the global. Right now they have Charlotte, Yami, Lotus, and Mars as the S+. Reason being is Charlotte is an insane debuffer. So let's go ahead and take a look at her right now. The debuffs that she does is she buffs and debuffs, actually, is she hits increased damage for all characters. She has defensive shred by 50%, which is really insane for just a base character. I mean, these are base, nothing boosted up or anything, max skills or anything like that. We can show the enhanced versions, which goes up to 60%. Basic is 50% defensive shred. Also a 50% damage reduction, or attack damage reduction on the enemies. Increases damage taken by 70%. So not only are you doing 50% defensive shred, you're also popping on their head an extra 70% damage taken. I mean, it's overkill with just her alone. I mean, honestly, it's overkill with just her alone. And then you jump into something like Yami, with Yami on the team as well, and you have increased damage dealt, increased crit rate, increased damage, stuns the target. He has a combination of where if he has the bleed effect on an enemy. So here, if an enemy is taking continuous damage from bleed, increase it by 40%. His kit allows him to put bleed on an enemy, and then his kit also allows him to do bonus damage for that enemy already having bleed on it. When you pair that with something like a Charlotte, and then you pair that with something like a Yami, I mean, the burst damage is pretty crazy. Anyways, back to the tier list. So who am I going to be going for on launch? You have these season characters. There'll be season 1. So you have Asta, Mimosa, and you have Yami Clover. So the Clover Kingdom, sorry, the Academy. Asta is the highest based damage in the game. So his attack is highest base damage, 0 magic attack, obviously. 100%, this is a must-have on your account. I mean, going forward, it's a 4,000 bonus of damage that he's just going to be doing base without any buffs, any debuffs, or anything like that. He just has an innate 17,000 at max damage or attack percent. After that, we have Mimosa. Let's go ahead and go take a look at her. She is going to be your healer. So, of course, you want to have one healer, one support or debuffer or buffer, and then one main damage dealer. With those, and then you can have a offset character as well. With her, she's the best healer in the game. I mean, hands down the best healer in the game. She does HP recovery plus 15%, which is a fixed amount equal to 120% of her magic attack. And then 45% chance to grant, which is one every other turn, to an ally whose HP has been recovered, SP plus 1. Special points, which is to get their ultimate quicker. She also has defensive boost by 140%, and she buffs attack by 100%. So not only is she a healer, she's also buffing and covering your party in a way to allow you to take a ton of less damage and then output more damage as well. She is a season 1 character, so she is going to be one of those characters that you have to pull for within season 1. If you miss her, then you miss her. It's not 100% priority to go with her because there is other healers in the game that will be coming out and that are out already that will allow you to progress without going for her. But I would say if you're building around getting some characters that'll allow you to push through PvP. So let's take a look at global PvP. S+, S+, both of them. So you're not only getting characters that allow you to push through the story on PvE, both of them allow you to progress in PvP as well. Now, of course, people are going to have these same characters. Then it's just up to you to build faster and have better builds and, you know, strategize with your equipment and armor and stuff like that to go a little bit over, which once the game comes out, I'll make some guides and everything of best in slot items for each of the characters, kind of which ones to go for first, who's more important to go for as well. But other than that, we have Lotus and Mars. Mars is a tank, and Lotus is going to be your main debuffer that's an S+ tier. Let's go ahead and take a look at Lotus. Oh, where is he at? There we go. So Lotus has a couple interesting things. He has an AoE that reduces your mobility, a 50% chance at that to reduce the mobility. And then he has another AoE that has a 50% chance to remove all buffs on the enemy. Those in itself, you're stopping someone from taking more turns, and any of the buffs that they're putting onto themselves from their teams, you can just strip them of that in the next turn. Extended debuff duration, his other skill, and then his combined attack has a 60% chance to do a 20% reduced mobility on the enemy. So all around, he's just slowing your team and bringing them down to not be able to do as much during the fight. In my opinion, he's insane for PvP. I don't know where they have him in PvP. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't see why he wouldn't be S+. So he's insane for PvP. PvE usually in these games is pretty easy to just face roll through, unless there's like once there is harder content when it comes to like equipment grinding or like in-game stuff. I could see him being good to just allow your team to take more turns, or to create setups to just like hyper buff one of your damage dealers within a first 1 or 2 turns to just have them output insane damage. Once we get more into the end game on the global side and see if any banners switch or anything changes like that, once we get going, then we can have a little bit more insight. But as for PvP, he's got it knocked down to the S because we have Julius and Noel that come out. That's the Halloween, so it'll be a while before we get that one. And then, of course, for the damage dealers, we have S2 Noel, which 100%, without a doubt, the currency that you get within the first season, make sure that you save enough to guarantee Noel swimsuit. She is the best damage dealer all the way. Let's see what season they're on. They are currently on season 6. Japan is currently on season 6, and she is still by far the best damage dealer in the game. Yeah, so they're still on season 6, and she is still the best. The season 2 Noel swimsuit is still the best PvP and PvE damage dealer in the game. If you don't summon at all and you go for her, your account will be fine. Pick her up and you win. You clear all the content, you progress as much as possible as your account allows you to in PvP, and you just build her up. I mean, it's pretty insane. It's easy to do that. Go for the Mimosa. Get you the Asta if you're a collector. That way, if you're impatient to go till season 2. And definitely try to go for Lotus as well. Those would be the ones that I'm saying. I think we're getting a free Yami, if I'm not mistaken. Global's getting a free Yami for pre-registration. So you should have him on your squad already, if I read that correctly. But if you guys have any questions about which characters to go for other than the ones that we've already covered in here, or if you have questions of like your favorite character and you want me to go more in detail on that individual character, then let me know down in the comments. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you on the next video.